Hi, thank you guys for being here. My name is BK Williams, and I am going to get started right now. It looks like it's 6 o'clock. So thank you all for coming. I see some of our panelists here, and I see some of our task force members here, and I see the public here. So thank you very much for joining us. My name is BK Williams, and Bukai, say hi, Bukai. She's going to be helping me facilitate this evening. And we're here representing the community solutions group. And we're going to be talking in particular about one of our programs that has been yielding some good results. We're going to be talking about the YouthWorks program. And I just want to give you a rundown of what we're going to do and how this is going to look this evening. So we're going to be talking about the program itself, give you a little history of the program. I'm going to share my screen with you in about a minute once I figure that out. So Cynthia, I know you're out there. You might jump in and get ready with that, because I've already had a challenge there. But we're going to talk, we have some of our community-based organizations with us, and we also have some volunteers from the, some volunteers who have created some videos for you. And we also have some of the youth workers who are here and some of the organizations that they've worked for. So I just want to also share with you that the program is being recorded. I understand one of our task force members is videotaping this so that he can put it out tomorrow. So I just want you to be aware of that. And also, I want you to understand that we've muted the responses so that we can do a presentation basically. And the program is going to run for about an hour. And after we're done with the presentation materials, we will allow a Q&A period. So if you have any questions at that time, we will gladly take your questions. And if we can't get answers for you, we will try and get them at a later date and get them back to you. I just want to share some of the folks who have joined us. Bokai, of course, and myself are here. I see, and if I mispronounce names, my apology, but I see Ayalodi Kinney there. And I believe Wanda Gonzalez, who is one of our participants from YouthWorks. And I don't know if Yesenia and Cynthia are here yet, but they're also panelists. So I'm excited to hear from all of these folks. Look, when we started this last year, we were thinking in our subgroup on the task force, we were thinking that it was so important that youth have employment. And one of the reasons that we were excited about this is because we felt strongly as a subcommittee that this would be a deterrent for youth from keeping them off of the streets and into trouble. I grew up, born and raised in San Francisco, and my first job ever was with the Summer YouthWorks program in San Francisco. And the assignment that I had was at a bank. It was Crocker Bank at the time. They don't exist anymore. But I'm a banker to this day, and that is my career. That has been my career. And that has, been if it wasn't for that job, I don't think I ever would have gone into the banking industry. It just hadn't occurred to me. But that summer job is what kept me off the streets, because I had that option. But once I went to work every day, I had to be someplace. I had to do something. My summers changed, and they were filled with a different purpose. Not to mention, I had an income at the early age of 15 or 16 when I was working. So I do want to put that out there and just preface all of this by saying that the ability to work, the ability to be provided an opportunity for employment, to meet people who are in careers that our young people might consider and might not have ever considered before, is something that's monumental in the lives of young people, in my opinion. but we're going to hear from some of the young people, and they're going to share their own experiences with you. And I think that one of the moving points for me when we were looking at this project was we looked at New York. And I believe New York placed 160,000 youth in the summer job programs. And when they did the test 2 years later, when they did follow-up surveys, they found none of those young people had been involved with the criminal justice system. None of them had been involved with law enforcement. They were changed by the experience, or I want to say the experience helped to change their lives and what they were exposed to. So I don't want to ever underestimate the ability to change lives by offering employment and opportunities to see a world that's broader than the one that we or our young people may already know. So with that slight introduction in mind, I think I've shared with you most of what I have to share, and I'm going to get started with, it's going to take me a minute to adjust from where we are now to get our presentation up for you. So if you give me a minute, I will get our presentation on the screen for you. And if one of my able-bodied helpers out there has it handy, that would be great. I did have it before we started, and it's no longer on my desktop. Stephanie or Christina, do you have it? Do you have the presentation?
Yeah, can you help? Yes, I'll go ahead and share. Give me 1 second.
Cynthia. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of blurry, but are you guys able to see this? You may want to close other stuff. Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. I just realized it's nighttime now. My name is Bokai Pomopa, and I'm the program manager here for
Thank you. Next slide, please.
Also, yeah.
So we're going to start out, and Bukai and I are going to tag team with this sort of. So if Bukai, I believe that you're going to take this, the first couple of slides. Let me just, no, I'm going to. So we're going to talk about the items we're going to talk about are what is YouthWorks. Bukai is going to share with you what that is. We're going to show you the videos, as we mentioned, and give you a little background information. And then we're going to bring some panelists before you, and then we'll answer your questions and let you ask any questions that you may have. Next. Okay.
So what is YouthWork?
Can you unmute yourself? Okay.
I am unmuted. Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Yes, we can hear you, Bokai.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so Richmond YouthWork is part of the City of Richmond Employment Training Division, which runs several programs to assist opportunity youth in the community with finding career pathway and employment. So there's many services beside just summer youth employment that YouthWork provides here. We provide intensive case management for youth that's 16 to 24. And yes, 24-year-old is considered youth based on the Department of Labor category under State of California YouthWork program. Our year-round program consists of Workforce Innovation Act, which is a grant-funded program that we do year-round. Dislocated worker, youth worker, which means basically any youth that was impacted by the COVID-19 was given a grant for us to assist to make sure we upgrade the skill set of our young people and return them back to work. And also we serve students with disability. We partner with the Department of Rehabilitation here on Cutting in Richmond as well. So we are serving over 70 youth with disability as well. The participation-based our services include our academic support to ensure that all our participants are involved in somehow making sure they get their GED or high school diploma, at least those before they move on to any vocational training or getting into higher education. We provide apprenticeship training, and we have our very own Richmond Build and Youth Build program here in-house, which is stationed on 20th Street, where Fred Rosero is the program manager for that program. We provide also the transportation assistance, such as giving them BART. It's not BART anymore, it's the bus ticket and stuff like that in order to assist them to get to and from school or work or training. We do a lot of businesses and industry trip to introduce them to employer and to kind of introduce them to the workforce, different type of industry, manufacturing, technology, and healthcare. We work very closely actually with Kaiser School here in Richmond in order to make that happen as well. We provide a lot of on-the-job training, life skill, work readiness workshop. Next. And our youth work history here. I just really wanted to really dedicate this to our program coordinator who ran youth work. A couple years ago, he retired and we lost him this August, on August 10th. And he was the true rainmaker. I just want everyone to know that Jalen Harden is the true rainmaker for youth work here and the whole employment training, really. The program was established in 1989 as Richmond Mayor Summer Youth Employment. And if somehow the money got dried out, and it was reestablished back in 2004 as a crime reduction tool, as a job training program by our former mayor of Richmond, Irma Anderson. And that program continued on as our former mayor, Gail McLaughlin. And then now with, we still have it through our current mayor, Tom Budd. The program is part of the city effort to reduce violence by providing services to at-risk young people. If you ask Jay, he said the only way to reduce violence is to really provide quality employment opportunities to Richmond youth. And I just really wanted to quote Jalen Harden, who was my old boss when I first started here. And he was really a true rainmaker. And really, and this is what he always say to us is, our goal has always been to get 1,000 opportunity youth and over $1 million program. Well, I just want to say, Jay, we are doing that this year. That was his dream. And thanks to many of you that supported the summer youth employment and now is making it to a year-round program. The responsibility for training our youth and giving them the skill and opportunity they need to become productive citizens belongs to all of us. And every single one of us should be part of this great program. Next slide, please. And now we're going to play some of the video that for the multicultural bookstore.
Give me 1 second to pull up those videos.
While we're waiting for the video, if you are not muted, if you could mute yourself unless you're speaking, that would be excellent. Thank you.
Please let me know if you can hear my audio.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Tamara Shiloh, and I own the Multicultural Bookstore and Gifts. What do I do in the organization? Everything that needs to be done. I supervise my staff, and I do, like I said, everything that needs to be done. I'm a part of it. No, nothing's too small or too big for me. This is my bookstore, and I love it. So yeah, I do a little bit of everything.
My name is Brenda Seves. I work as a cashier. I'm usually giving like a task on Square, which is the website that we use to sell products. And if a customer comes by, I'll help them. I found out about YouthWorks through my school's College and Career Center, where they usually give out like opportunities for students. And I happened to come across by YouthWorks, and I was interested because I've never worked a job before, and my parents were usually like the type that were against that type of thing. But it was the summer, so I didn't have school or anything that they had to be worried about. This internship has really helped me like ask more questions and not be nervous, which I struggled at the beginning. I found the workshops really helpful to me because I was enrolled in the program for the first time and was clueless about like a lot of things, such as like the time cards and how to fill them out. I would personally recommend YouthWorks to friends and family, since I think it's a really good opportunity for people in Richmond to be able to work, and you really don't come across those types of opportunities that often. So I think the fact that it's tailored to what you want or are looking to work in is really great. So I would definitely recommend it for that reason.
Well, I think just the nature of working in a bookstore has been a new experience for most of them. A couple of them have worked before in other stores, but a bookstore is a little different just because it's books, okay? And so that requires a little different mindset. And then, of course, they can read. If they're readers, they're in heaven because they're around a lot of books, and I encourage them to read. And some of those who weren't really readers, and they come and they see all these books, and I think a few of them now are readers because they see that there are really some cool books out there that they're interested in. Well, they're nervous. They don't know what to expect. And so I just tell them not to be nervous. I mean, that's kind of hard to tell you not to be nervous, of course. It's your first job, maybe. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That, if nothing else, ask for clarity. I'm sometimes running around here like a chicken with her head cut off, and I talk fast, and so I just expect them to know it, but it's okay to come back. Miss Shiloh, okay, this is what I heard. Is this what you really meant? I'm okay with that. So that is the one thing I would stress, is don't be afraid to ask questions. It'll make your life so much simpler, believe me. And your bosses do not mind you asking questions. They'd rather you do that than to do something wrong. You can't say enough about higher education. Retail is fine, but just think about owning your own bookstore. I would love you to work for me forever, but you know, I just think you should aspire to do bigger.
Thank you for that. Also, it seems like some of our young people learned or already knew the skills of filmmaking and editing and brought that to us. And they did a good job, because when the young woman, the student worker started out, she started out talking about how important it was to ask questions. And then Ms. Shiloh came and said the same thing. So you could see the connectiveness there. And I just want to give kudos to that young filmmaker or videographer for doing that. I thought that was very well stated and very helpful to understand what that process was like for that employee. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and share the second video from one of our small businesses here in Richmond, San Francisco Pizza. Give me 1 second. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Can you hear?
Yes.
I'm a lit kid.
Hello, my name is Rosana Brito. I'm the owner and operator here at San Francisco Pizza and Restaurant. Of course, alongside my husband, who is the chef. We have been serving the community for the past 22 years. While my husband runs the kitchen, I run the front of the house and everything that involves taking care of the customer needs. I believe I first heard about Richmond YouthWorks through another organization here in Richmond called Richmond Main Street Initiative. I have just been blessed this past year and a half finding out about all these resources and all the support that the city of Richmond and some nonprofit organizations offer to downtown businesses, to the business in general, to women-owned business, to minority-owned businesses. And that was how we established the connection. It's been, my connection with Richmond YouthWorks has been very positive so far. I embrace the idea fully, particularly now, labor shortage is a major issue for us. Just having the opportunity to welcome youth that's interested and that's eager and willing to learn with us is fantastic.
My name is Christian Guzman, and I'm working here at San Francisco Pizza. I think a lot of the tasks mainly revolve around just customer service, really just dealing with people throughout the day. You know, taking orders, you know, and then you know, making sure that they're happy with their order. I found out about YouthWorks through just kind of poking around. I just kind of went around trying to see what I could find, and I found out when someone, you know, I let somebody that I know that I needed work, so they were like, hey, look, there's this program, and you're young, and you know, you could, you know, sign up for that, and they give you that opportunity. You know, this was back when, you know, I was still like, I think 15, 16, and I needed a job, and it was like a lot of places don't hire because, you know, you don't have experience, or, you know, they want people who already have had experience. So I was like, you know what, this sounds pretty cool. So I'll check it out, and then I'll see what's up. And I'm the type of person, if they give me work, I'll show up. So, you know, I really will show up for it. So as soon as they told me that, you know, the job wasn't like, oh, like filling out applications or anything like that, all I had to do was, you know, give them kind of what I would like to work at. You know, a place where basically I would just be more comfortable working at something that I could learn to do easily, or something that I already know how to do. You know, they set you up pretty well, and I'm able to, you know, work and study at the same time, which is honestly great, it's a challenge in itself, right? Because, you know, doing two things at the same time.
So what advice would you give to Richmond youth interested in the program?
I would say just kind of prepare yourself the best you can, because what I would say is just once you've signed up and everything, and then they've given you options, because they give you options, I would say try to choose something where you would feel most comfortable at, because a lot of the times you're gonna, or even maybe if you want to explore a little bit, you can, and try to do something that, you know, you're not used to, and do that as well. But I would say most of the time try to choose something where you're most comfortable at, because then that could also help you in the future, because it's like sometimes a lot of what you choose now could count as experience towards maybe like another job, and that's just a huge gateway there, and that would be really cool for someone to, like for me, for example, like if they put you like at a place, they put me at one time at a computer place, and I love working with computers. So, you know, having some kind of experience in there would really help you later on in other jobs. And let's say, for example, one day you want to get a really good job and you have that experience there, that's a huge help.
Thank you for sharing that. I just want to share one point from that particular video. And if we could get the agenda back, thank you. One of the things that was said there, I think the owner of the store, of the pizza shop, was talking about the service industry and how difficult it is to find workers right now. And that's something that's resonating across the country. That's just top of the news. Folks aren't able to find workers. And so I want to applaud YouthWorks, and I want to applaud Richmond for providing youngsters to work in these places that are having a difficult time, at this time, placing people. I think that that's really monumental. So thank you for those videos. Again, I just want to point out that these were done by youth volunteers, and I just want y'all to know they did an excellent job. So thank you for that. And if we could advance to the next slide, thank you. So I just want to share a little information about where we are and where we've come. The city's investment and what the city of Richmond has invested in, and I think that that's really powerful, and it's really, really important for us going forward. A lot of cities have talked about reimagining public safety, and the conversation has been ongoing. And Richmond is one of the few places that has actually done something about it and made this happen. And I talk to people, across this particular country and outside of this country, and it's huge what we've done. I think we're in the middle of it and we don't recognize it, and but it's monumental, and I applaud the efforts that Richmond is taking, and is the progress that they're making in this arena. And I think I talked about it a little bit when I started, but not a lot has changed, in the sense that services for youth are critical. We need those services. We need support for our young people, and without that support, we're taking away options. And so I think that the investment that the city council has made, that the city of Richmond has made, was a choice. We could have chosen something else. We could have chosen to define public safety in another way. We could have decided to define our investments and what we wanted for our future in a different way, but we chose our youth. And I don't think there's a better investment that we could make other than our youth. And the program that was selected, we are looking to, we're in looking at this particular option, we wanted to make sure that youth had a chance. We wanted them to be able to be integrated into the work life, the experiences that that young man talked about, the experiences that Ms. Shiloh was providing for her youth, and the pizza shop was providing. If you could see this exponentially happening across and throughout the city, you can start to see the benefits of the investment and the output that we have. And it's different. Once you invest in something, it's like if you put your money under the pillow, it's not going to grow. But if you actually, I can't even say if you put it in the bank these days, that's an embarrassing analogy to draw. But if you do something with it and put it to work, it'll actually has the potential to grow. And that is what we want for our youth. That's our investment. And that's what we're doing here in Richmond, is we're investing in the youth. And it took this, I think the city council has, they have a tremendous job, and they have the tasks that they take on are not easy. And I watched as they went through this particular process, and I applaud them again, because providing work and providing opportunities and investing in our youth is one of the most important things that we can do as the city. And I think that we're going to advance. We're going to go on to the next slide. And I'll let some of the things that we've looked at, and Bakai, you can jump in here because this is your territory. So I want you to, and I just want to say about Bakai, since we mentioned YouthWorks, and since we started working with YouthWorks, Bokai she has stepped up in a way that I'm just amazed. She is here every time we have meetings, she's there. She's killing it. And I think part of what we have to do in supporting the work that she's doing is we have to make sure that some of this is supporting the infrastructure, because Bokai can't do this alone. And I know she's got some awesome folks with her. In fact, one of them had to take over because I wasn't functioning in terms of advancing these slides. And that's what we need. We need this infrastructure, and we need the Bokais, and we need to support, because if we put her in that role and say, we want you to have 1,000 youth in jobs, she can't succeed without the infrastructure behind her. So I want to encourage us to not only support the youth, but to support the structure that is providing the support for the youth. So thank you, Bokai, for the work you do. And I will stop talking about you now and let you talk about the program. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So so far as of today, actually, this data was collected, that's shown here was as of October 4th. We are now at October 20th. And Yesenia graciously just gave me an updated number at 422 applications that we received as of today. Right now, over 275 youth have been placed or completed their 100 to 300 hours. We have now worked with over 70 work sites, and every day we are getting applications. So we are trying to, like as the young person that was working at the pizza place earlier mentioned, that we do try very best to really match you with what the youth wants to learn, because sometimes it is not a very good match and they think that's the job industry that they want to go into. So once they do those type of work, they're like, oh no, I don't want to do this work anymore, or yes, I love this job. What do I need to do in order to go work on my career pathway? And we work with them from there on through our year-round program. We serve over 42 local businesses and nonprofit agency, community-based organization worksite, and we're so thankful that they have stepped up, and especially with the COVID, I was actually pretty surprised that many of them have stepped up and said, hey, yes, we will participate. Yes, we need so many youth coming through the step. And it is not just like, yes, they will do this, but they understand that they have to do an MOU with us, having to do an agreement on the safety rules that they have to make sure that our youth going to work at their work site, that they're following the OSHA rule, that their safety, and turning in their timesheet, having to train the employer to do their timesheet as well as the youth. The task force reallocate the youth to be able to serve up to 500 young people as of today. Like I said, we have until June to complete our 500 youth, which some of them work up to 300 hours. That makes about before tax up to what, 44,500 for some young people. And we, because of the budget, we want to make sure that we give higher hours to work to our older young adult, 18 to 24, they're able to work up to 300 hours. And our young one, because they have more time, they were only allowed to work up to 100 hours. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. So I think this was your slide, BK, but did you want me to?
Thank you. Yeah, and we're not going to try and give you too much data, because we want to hear from, we have some unique panelists out there. So we're gonna just talk about some of these things. So there were 2 city staff serving over 406 youth, 406 youth. The task force reallocated 2 employment specialists, which is superb. The implementation subcommittee is working with the city manager and the HR director in getting those positions hired. And in 2020, they had only served 175 youth with 100 hours. So this has been a significant increase in service to our youth. Next.
And now we're gonna talk a little bit about our data there. Go ahead, next. These are just lists of our industry that a lot of young people are requesting and who we have working with us right now. The number one request is almost administrative and office assistant. And I have to say thank you to the city, some of the city department that work closely with us, like the HR department and housing and the attorney office also have been participating in our summer youth employment. So we are very grateful for them. We have a lot of medical and health, which is healthcare. And to be surprising, we work with Contra Costa County mental health as well. And that has been working out wonderful because the youth that goes there can use that as a resources for them, friends and their family. Next slide, please. And these quickly, I'm not going to go over it, but I just want to list all of the work site that participated this year. And it's growing every week. Next slide, please. And these are just of the workshop that our young people completed before they are placed at the work site. So a lot of them are really about the work etiquette and what is harassment and the OSHA mocking interview, the payroll and how to complete your timesheet in order to get paid. How do you do a leave request? How do you show the work on time? Work assessment. And importantly, we introduced them to CalJob. And many of you that may not be familiar with CalJob is where everybody that are looking for a job or having to apply for unemployment, as many of them did through the pandemic. So CalJob was introduced to every single individual that participated. Next slide, please. Our youth program wages. So as you may know, our Richmond minimum wage is at $15.21 and is our ordinate. You can look that up in our city website under employment training, under the contract compliant. Our program manager for that is Ms. Gina Baker, and it is currently $15.21, and that's what we are paying our young people. And this is without benefit. We cannot pay them benefit because we are a training provider, so we are more of a supplement program rather than an actual employer. Okay, and right now the state of California minimum wage is at $14 an hour, so we are paying a little bit more than the state minimum wage. Okay, what is YouthWorks? What do we provide to small businesses? As you know now, because of the pandemic, we feel we are contributing to making sure that the small business stayed open, and we are working in partner. We get our youth to get their experience. Small businesses and small community-based organization are able to have body there to continue the work. And especially with the businesses that are struggling to stay. No, go ahead, go to the next one. Thank you. Our data in regards to what's on board, as you see, we did for the work experience, WEX stand for work experience. We received over 406 application, and we had on board 40.4% at 275 young people have been placed to work as of today. And these kind of give you a range age of how many people applied and was placed at a job. Next slide, please. And we have primary, majority are female, male, and race. We have 159, which is about 39% of Latinx participant, and the next one is African American / Black. And someone may want to know why we put / those. It's because on our data we collected, a lot of our youth are identifying themselves either Black or African American. So we want to be able to be inclusive and be part of their language. Next slide, please. And here go the neighborhood in Richmond that we work with. So my majority are from the North and East Richmond. The next one is from the Iron Triangle. Next slide, please. The income. So 50, let me see, the highest, as you can see here, a lot of the young people that participate come from a household that makes $20,000 to close to $30,000 per year. And that's a profit, that's below our poverty guide, here in the city. So we, and out of all the applicants that identify themselves getting public assistance are 270 young people. Next slide, please. And these are just personal circumstances that we actually collect, because we do have to collect this for our other grant funded programs. So we are sharing all of these with you. And out of all that, we have total of 22% has an IEP or 504 plan. And some of you that may not know what 504 plans is basically a student with disability that was diagnosed with their from their school. Next slide, please.
So Bukai, I'd like to interrupt here so that we can move on to the panelists, and that way this information will be posted and available, but this will give us an opportunity to move forward with our panelists. So if we could get the Ms. Kenny ready, and any of the other panelists who are here.
I think all the panelists are already
highlighted. Okay,
yes.
Great. All right, so we're gonna, and I'm cognizant of the time now. I guess I wasn't earlier, so my apologies for that. But I want to, we're gonna, we want to bring the panelists on, and we would like you to introduce yourself, starting with Ms. Kinney, and then we have Wanda, Yesenia, and Cynthia. If you guys could introduce yourselves, and then if I missed any, let me know. Just introduce yourself, and then tell us what your organization is or what your role was this summer with the YouthWorks. Ms. Kinney? Ayalodi?
She's unmuted. You need to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sorry, I have a mouthful of peanuts. Okay, my organization is CURE-ME, that stands for Communities United Restoring Mother Earth. And I started working with YouthWorks in 2010. I had just come back from abroad. I had been abroad for 5 years, working in other places, doing gardens and stuff. And I came back and I came straight to Richmond. And I don't remember how I found YouthWorks, but I found you guys. And the rest is history. And we build gardens, we do food and medicine for people. It's really going good now because I don't charge. I don't charge for boxes. I don't charge for food. I mean, I don't think people should pay for food, but that's a long time from now. And we just grow, and I teach the kids how to make medicine. It's a wonderful workplace. Wonderful workplace.
Thank you very much. We'll do the full introduction first, and then we'll come back with some questions. Wanda Gonzalez.
Hey everyone, I'm Wanda Gonzalez. I was placed at Richmond Works this summer. I started as receptionist area, but then I moved to MIS as well. So data validation stuff.
Thank you. I'm going to try and mute Miss Ayalode. If you could mute yourself when you're not speaking, that'd be super. Thank you. And then we have, let's see, we have Yesenia and Cynthia.
Hi everyone, my name is Yesenia, and I have been working with YouthWorks as a YouthWorks navigator for their summer youth employment program.
Thank you.
I will be giving my space to Salma Bermoon. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce your last name correctly, from Groundworks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Salma Baruman. I am the Education and Community Outreach Manager at Groundwork Richmond. And basically, Groundwork Richmond is an environmental justice organization that focuses on climate justice through citizen science and urban forestry.
Thank you. Have I gotten all of the panelists?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start, I guess the question is, what was good about the experience that you had either with the youth or you as a young person working for the summer program? What was good about or beneficial about the program? We'll start with Selma.
Can you please repeat the question? I'm sorry.
What was beneficial or good about your experience with the program this summer or in general?
Well, that's a really good question. So I've been with Groundwork for 4 months. So this is my first time experiencing my partnership with YouthWorks for 3 months, which was the summer. And at first it was a little rocky, but honestly, it was a learning experience for both of us. And honestly, I could say that I can't wait to continue our partnership, our collaboration. They are the reason that we can continue to still employ our youth. And we want to keep that going so that they are able to get all these resources and skills so that they could use later in the future.
Thank you. Wanda?
Something positive. Well, there's a lot of good things about YouthWorks. When I applied, I didn't really have much work experience. I had retail work experience, but that isn't what I wanted to do. And I wanted to apply for something, something like administrative, office oriented, but I didn't have the experience, so I wouldn't get a call back, or they're looking for someone who is more knowledgeable about that. So it was just a great opportunity. I've been learning a lot of valuable skills from people skills. My typing has gotten better and faster. I'm becoming more organized. So yeah, they've helped me with a lot. From their workshops, from before I started working there to when I actually started being in the reception area and then going upstairs and doing data validation, paperwork, which are things that I thought would have been hard to learn, but it's actually pretty straightforward, and I like it. Yeah, it's been really nice. A really great experience.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Wanda. Yesenia?
Yes, so I've actually had the best experience here with YouthWorks because when I actually first started, in the work field, I guess, I wanted to get some job experience, and obviously I applied to jobs, but no one will hire me because I didn't have job experience, and that's a challenge that many of us here face. Here in the youth, we don't have experience, and on top of that, I guess they saw Richmond youth as maybe they're not that independent, or they want to waste their time. And for many of us, it's not that case. For example, for me, I kind of had to advocate for myself. My parents were always working, and so they weren't really there for me to kind of look for jobs or advise me, mentor me, anything like that. But then I came to find out about YouthWorks through my own, research. And I was like 16, I believe, when I first found out about them. And at first I was pretty shy. I actually didn't want to go to the workshops or anything like that. And I actually did. I stopped my experience in high school. I didn't go through with YouthWorks. But then later on, after graduating, I was 18, I needed to be more responsible. And of course, I wanted money. So I looked for YouthWorks again. And since then, honestly, I love it. I've learned to be more confident. I learned to outreach with organizations, talk to them. I've learned to work with kids with disabilities, and so on. I've learned so much because of YouthWorks, and I am more confident because of them. So my experience with YouthWorks so far has been great, and I always tell everybody, like all my friends, anybody from the community here, that YouthWorks is here for us. If you need someone, to listen to them, to mentor them, to guide them, that's kind of what I do now because of YouthWorks. And yeah, thank you. YouthWorks.
Your
You guys
confidence
have
is
been
showing.
great. Yeah.
Thank you.
And even now, I'm not gonna lie, I still get shy or nervous, but YouthWorks brings out those skills in all of us. That's what the workshops are for as well. So we can start practicing all the skills. So YouthWorks just does all of that for us here.
Great. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Aya Lodi, where are you there?
I'm here.
You have the different side of the experience. So tell us your experience. What was beneficial or what was good about your experience with our youth?
Okay, a lot of them were special ed, and a lot of times they were, when we first started working, they were leery of the bugs, and I love bugs. They were leery of the worms and all that, but over time, they were so, they learned well. They weren't having a relationship with their phone every second. I give them direction. Of course, I would train them, give them direction, and they'd follow through. They were just awesome. Everything I asked them to do, they did without hesitation. It was wonderful.
Great. You came straight to Richmond. Would you do this again next summer?
Yes, I live in Richmond now.
Okay. I know you were out away for 5 years, and then when you came back, you came back to Richmond. So yeah, great. Sounds like a good experience. Bokai, do you have any questions for any of our panelists before we go to any callers out there who might have questions?
Sure. I'm going to pick on Cynthia because I want her to share her experience a little bit, just a little bit, because she participated and she came back, and she's very aggressive when she comes back and she wants to do so much, and I have to like tone her down sometimes. So share your experience, Cynthia.
Okay, so I participated in YouthWorks back in 2009, from 2009 to 2010. I was a junior in the high school, didn't have enough credits to graduate. The program helped me get back on track to make sure that I can graduate high school, first of all, because of two special case managers. Bokai was actually my case manager, and Pedro Lefebvre, who used to be part of YouthWorks and part of the after school tutoring program. They helped me get back on track with school and pursue a career. I went to Contra Costa College. I just recently graduated with my BA in social welfare from the University of California, Berkeley. And now I'm back as an intern because it's what I want to do. I always learn to give back to my community because of Bokai and Pedro. Like, you know, they helped me. Now I want to help those youth here in Richmond to have that same experience I did.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you, Bokai, for putting her out there. I knew she was a force to be reckoned with, so appreciate that. And good to understand the background. These are some amazing young people that Richmond is cultivating, and that's part of the investment. When we invest in them, as they've said a few times, they come back. We get that back from them. I could say more, but I'm going to open up now to our public, to our audience. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand, and I will gladly recognize you. So if you have any questions of any of the panelists or Bokai or myself, or Jim, any questions for us, please raise your hand now. I see Carol Johnson has a question. Carol, hi. Carol?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so it is great to hear that this program is benefiting so many youth. If I could just play the devil's advocate for a minute and see, and say that I don't see any African-American youth. I'm just wondering about that.
What do you mean you don't see African-American youth?
Well, I came in late, so maybe I missed.
Oh, I see. Are you saying as a speaker?
Or as participants? Did I miss some of them, maybe?
Yeah, there was, book, I mean, but do you want to show the statistics of that? We showed the statistics of the participants, Carol. So,
Yeah, I know
yeah,
I missed something because I came in late, so.
yeah. There were and we could go back to the slide, but we'll post that so that you can see thank you for showing that. So you can see the participants. 39% of them were Hispanic, 33% African American, Black. So there was a large participation of the students. If you mean why they're not part of this presentation, I can share, for instance, my daughter worked with the program and she's back away at college right now, so she can't be here doing this because she's doing something else. So they participated, I know, and she had a great experience too. But thank you for your question, Carol. Appreciate that. Yenny Garcia.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Yenny Garcia. I'm just curious if undocumented youth can apply to the program and what the process is for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Bokai?
Sure, definitely. Undocumented youth can definitely apply, and because of an I-9 involvement, we would try to pay them with incentive of participating and helping and make it more of a classroom. And this is when the school comes in to do workshop and stuff. So they are able to participate in a lot of what we call a workshop, educational workshop with the Kaiser School of Alliance and some other training provider in order for them to get those. And we are able to do it that way where the incentive were given to them.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? We have a few more minutes. And if not, I am, okay. Phil Mayhas. Hi, how are you?
Phil Mayhas from the Richmond Art and Culture Commission. I want to remind everybody, I was impressed with the presentations and with the youth that spoke and with those who are administering the program. It just sounds really wonderful. I just want to remind you that an artist is also a job. And if you encourage anybody to go in that direction or to apply for grants, we have a number of grants out there now, ranging from about $4,000 to $10,000 each. And there's about 20 people applying for them right now. So anyway, just want to encourage, just add that to your youth programs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll reach out to get more information, or if you can go to our website and reach out to us, that would be great. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. And we see the youth already participating. They've made some videos. And I believe one year, Phil, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we gave a grant, or the commission gave grants to filmmakers. We do have filmmakers applying from time to time. So it's great to see stories told that we wouldn't otherwise hear those stories or see those stories. So hopefully some of the young folks will apply. We're at 6:59, and look, I just want to say I appreciate all of you for coming out. I thought it would be Bokai and myself sitting here talking and the panelists, but I appreciate the fact that others of you came. I see Michelle Milan, who's been with this from the beginning also, and Don Gosney and Kristen, I see you out there. And I just want to, Johan, I see you. I just want to thank you guys for coming. Thank the panelists for participating. Thank the videographers for sharing their skills with us. And I thank the staff for being here and for helping with everything. And I want to say, Cynthia, thank you for stepping in and for running the mechanics. I thought I sold myself as being able to do it, but apparently I blew that one. So thank you. I'm going to let Bokai have the closing words before we leave.
Before we close out, I just want to give you a video that Yesenia worked really hard on. I'm so proud of her, and they're doing an awesome job. So if Cynthia could play that, and for you to enjoy our work. Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Something I learned was how to do front office at the job and like learning how to talk to like adults and like when someone calls the front office, take notes down and like transfer calls. And I thought that was great, especially for like my first job experience.
I really thank YouthWorks for getting me into the job that I wanted to go to, because since I'm going as an animal sciences major, they put me at an animal shelter, so I'm having a lot of experience working with animals and helping them. So thank you, YouthWorks. And I would highly recommend it to anyone in Richmond, San Pablo, wherever, because YouthWorks is so amazing and they really help you a lot.
The resources are very helpful that they provide, and I really appreciate that. Also, I recommend the program because it enhances the skills you need in the future in the workforce.
Awesome. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Great job. I loved everything. So good.
Who's that talking?
Kristen.